It was early September in New Brunswick, Canada. My first day at school in this remote, rural area. Though it was supposed to be my senior year, due to some reasons, I had to repeat it. So, at 19, I found myself back in high school. The place was so isolated that middle and high school shared one building. My first period was study hall. As I walked into the dimly lit room, I noticed a new student sitting quietly. He looked out of place. In such a small community, unfamiliar faces always stood out. I walked up to him and introduced myself. He shook my hand and said his name was Chester. He'd just moved here, he told me. Being a friendly Canadian, I offered to show him around and get him to his next class. As we walked through the shadowy hallways, I felt something off about him. At first, he asked basic questions, how long I'd lived here, where certain classrooms were. But then he asked weird things. What's your home address? What's your Snapchat? I felt a bit awkward but figured sharing my Snapchat wasn't a big deal. If he got creepy, I'd just block him. At the end of the day, I had English class. Only 9 students were there. I took a seat at the back and turned around. Chester was behind me, too. He wasn't looking at me. He was smelling his sandwich. Not like someone enjoying the aroma, but like a predator inspecting its prey. He sniffed it long and slow before finally taking a bite. Watching him eat was unsettling. Then he looked at me, like a defendant staring down a witness in court. There was something in his eyes that chilled me. I tried to ignore him, but he kept motioning for me to come over. When I didn't respond, he stared at me as if I were going to be his next sandwich. Then, my phone buzzed. A message from Chester on Snapchat. Follow me. I replied, we're in class right now. He asked the teacher for a bathroom pass and left. Curiosity got the better of me. A few minutes later, I asked for a bathroom break too. When I stepped out, I saw Chester about 50 feet down the corridor, walking slowly. Like he knew I was following. He turned toward a hallway that led to storage rooms and the basement. I watched him open a door and go inside. I knew that door led to the basement. But I didn't follow. I casually walked back to class. Then, another ping. Snapchat again. Chester, why didn't you go into the basement? Panic began to rise. I replied, just leave me alone. You're creeping me out. As soon as I got home, I blocked him. That night, after finishing my homework around 11 p.m., my phone buzzed again. A new friend request. Username, why didn't you go into the basement? I blocked it instantly. 30 seconds later, another request. This time the name was, why did you block me? My heart pounded. I blocked that one too. Then came the third, I know where you live. And just then, I heard a window shatter downstairs. I called the police and hid inside a closet in the hallway. As I closed the door, I heard footsteps on the stairs. I peeked through the closet's crack and saw a shadow coming up. It was Chester. He stood directly in front of the closet. My heart was pounding so loud I was afraid he'd hear it. He opened the door slightly, peeked in, but couldn't find the light switch. After a moment, he gave up and walked back down. Then I heard a knock at the front door. It was the police. I came out and ran downstairs. They searched the house, but Chester was gone. They figured he escaped through the basement window. Next day, I went straight to the principal's office. I reported everything. But he told me there was no new student named Chester enrolled at the school. No one knew who he was or how he blended in so easily. I never saw him again. The police never followed up. But sometimes I still wonder, what if I had followed him into that basement? Would I have ever come back? It was 2007. I was in my senior year of high school. One day, a boy named Brian messaged me on MySpace. I felt like I'd seen him before but couldn't quite place him. He said he knew me from school, that I'd tutored him in math. That was odd, because I had no connection to math. Still, I figured he was trying to be nice. We began chatting regularly. Then he started talking to me at school too. At first, it seemed fine. He was younger than me and clearly had a crush. And in a graduating class of just 40, that wasn't so unusual. We shared a love for My Chemical Romance. But then, he began waiting at my locker every morning, following me from first bell to lunch. His attention became overwhelming. Soon, he began making inappropriate comments, suggesting physical things, touching boundaries. I tried to avoid him, but he was always there. Thankfully, my friends were alert. Anytime they saw him near, they'd step in. And then, one day, he just vanished. Stopped coming to school. At first, I felt relief. But over time, curiosity crept in. One day, a friend mentioned Brian to my dad. My dad happened to be the school principal. He sat me down and asked what had happened. I told him everything. His face tightened with concern. Then he told me something I'll never forget. Brian had recently strapped fireworks to a cat, and laughed as it exploded. After that, he was arrested and sent to a psychiatric facility. No one knows what happened to him after. That moment hit me like ice. I realized just how close I'd been to something dangerous, something far beyond a teenage crush. This began when I was new in high school. Trying to make friends in a place that still felt unfamiliar. I had made a few friends already, but I still felt lost at times. Then one day, I met a boy who offered to show me around. I thought, finally, a new friend. We started hanging out more. I invited him to join our group. At first, he was quiet. Then slowly, he started opening up. He liked asking for advice, I liked helping. But then, he got strange. He said he wanted me to treat him like a pet. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. But he was completely serious. He began calling me Mistress. I told him to stop, but he didn't listen. He was everywhere, in class, cafeteria, hallways. Even outside the bathroom. He followed me obsessively. I told the school, but no one believed me. Even when teachers intervened, he stayed close. Then he got more aggressive. When I asked a male friend for help with homework, he heard it, and exploded in rage. He fought with anyone who talked to me. He'd say, "No one deserves you but me." Finally, I snapped. I yelled at him in public. It felt harsh, but I was done. Then came the letter. Pages of obsession, hate, and demands. While reading it, I glanced up. He was staring at me from the hallway. One night, while doing homework, I heard a scratching at my window. He was outside, wearing a dog collar, a leash in his hand, smiling. Then he licked the window glass. Slowly. I panicked and ran to my parents. They called the police. He was arrested. I gave them everything, messages, letters. A month later, I moved away. Never heard from him again. But the nightmares still come. Because stalking isn't romantic. It's terrifying. I just hope, wherever he is, he got the help he desperately needed.